I'm sure that will be fine then. Good, that's all sorted then. Carry on using the same desk. You got everything you need?
Yeah, all set.
Thanks, Luce. And congratulations and all that.
Thank you. Cheers.
Hiya. Good news, all sorted. I've extended the temps deal and she can start straight away, so looks like we're out of the brown stuff. Yeah, she's really good. Been with us for a bit now on a temporary contract, so knows all the background. She'll be up to speed by tomorrow, once she's had a look at the back end stuff. Sorry? Yeah, we'll get her the access. Oh yeah, no, it's fine. Leave it with me. Told you I'd get it sorted, didn't I? See ya.
Tony, excuse me. What's the deal with Lucy Matthews?
Wow, you lot don't waste any time.
Well, she just mentioned she was staying on to work on something else.
Yeah, that's right. I'm making her contract permanent.
None of my team have been involved in that. I'm not sure that...
I know. Sorry, but we're under pressure to get the Frankfurt work up and running by the end of the month. And you know we're getting a kicking from upstairs because they can't tell the client if we're going to make it or not. So I spoke to Alan and he's agreed that we can cover the work in-house if Lucy can stay on and help us out, which she's willing to. Saves us from looking like idiots. She's happy, Alan's happy, upstairs are happy, I'm happy, it's win-win.
Well, it would have been nice to have been kept in the loop. There are procedures for these things, you know. Have you drawn up a new contract for her?
Well, give us a chance, Susie. We'll get one for you, okay?
What about his security access?
Yep, all fine, all sorted out.
Well, you know, if she's going to be working on the Frankfurt project, she's going to need level 2 clearance.
Look, I don't mean to be funny, but we're under pressure here, you know? This is where we earn our money. We need to hit the ground running and get all our asses out of the sling.
She's still going to have to go through the clearance.
She's not been here 5 minutes. She's been here, what, 5, 6 months now? I know her, you know her, she knows us. And we did all the usual checks when she first joined as a temp.
Yes, but that was only for level 4. She's going to have to go through the level 2 clearance, especially if you're making her a permanent member of staff. That means financial checks, criminal record checks, references from past employers. Tony?
Look, well, we'd already upped her from 4 to 3 for some of the work she was doing for us recently with no problem. I mean, what's the issue here? Please, Susie, if I don't nail this project on time, we may not have one this time next month.
Look, we're all under pressure here, okay? I'm just trying to make sure that procedures are followed correctly.
Look, I'll get her to do the forms, okay? I'll print them off now. You'll have it soonest.
Okay, well, we'll catch up later then. Oh, she needs a new security pass for that level of clearance.
Oh, yeah. Would you get one of your girls to run that straight away? I mean, she needs that now. I'll sign off all the paperwork as well.
This is a one-off. We should have done all these checks before this.
Lucy Matthews?
Hi.
Susie asked me to give you this. Oh. Have you got the clearance form?
Oh, it's okay, I've already done the form. Tony's got it. Thanks. This is a stroke of luck. It's nice to be wanted and trusted again. But to be honest, I was just happy doing what I was doing. To be made permanent and to get a bigger role, well, I wasn't expecting that at all. I was worried she'd cause problems. I thought she'd make them do some background checks or something. If they had, well, I think they'd think twice. Can't imagine my last company to have given me a reference. And they'd have found some other stuff. A few mistakes. But she's not strong enough to stand up to Tony. He always gets what he wants. He wouldn't know procedures if they hit him square in the face. He just wants the job done. The access this gives me, though, means I can approve my own transactions. I've got all the clearance I need to run my own accounts. Could one day help me get rid of my old problems. The delivery date on the Frankfurt project is quite a way away, so I could keep him happy with some progress whilst... Why not? I mean, despite what I said in there, I can't see myself staying around here for that long. I deserve a break. Get away from here. The ironic thing is, I don't even need level 2 clearance for this. I only need to be working on the database, I don't need the transaction stuff. But as far as I can tell, no one checks anything. Lee, can you pass me that email?
It's the grant maintained support, yeah.
Gobsmacked. I thought it was sudden when she left. I noticed she wasn't pulling her weight, whereas before she'd been quite keen. But I just thought she was feeling a bit more pressured, that's all. And when she left, she was about 4 weeks into this bigger job we'd given her. So initially it was like she'd just left us in the lurch a bit. We had no idea about her previous trouble. By the time we worked out what was going on, she was long gone. Flat cleared, no contacts. My guess is she's out drinking to a good fortune on a beach somewhere on the other side of the world. Obviously, as soon as it all came to light, we were onto it. Closed down all the various accounts she'd accessed, but by that time, the damage was done.
Tony had assured me that all the procedures would be followed up and that he'd request the proper checks as soon as possible. But it was weeks before the details came through, and by then she'd gone. Yes, I maybe should have been more insistent and kept on at him, but I was busy with the pay reviews around that time. She was his contractor. He knows the procedures. As a manager in this business, it's up to him to make sure that his staff follow procedures. It's the manager's job to make sure that we know what's going on.
Well, HR should have made sure the checks were done, but they didn't. And then they said that I should have chased up the information. But I've got more pressing matters on my mind. Is it really my job? Haven't HR got people to do that? Isn't that what they do anyway? I mean, they keep squeezing my head counts as it is.
Had Tony initiated the proper level 2 checks, then her previous criminal record would have certainly come to light, as would the views of her previous employers. At this point, we could have asked ourselves if it was right that this individual in this case could be trusted with this level of access, or even if we should introduce tighter procedures and cross-checks as a general rule for all level 2 users. We may still have employed her, but perhaps we would have left our own systems less open to misuse. Mind you, you can have all the right processes and checks and balances, but it's still down to the individual staff to follow them, not go out of their way to ignore them.
Honestly, I've no idea how much she took us for. Internal audit reckon it was 5 figures. She really took us for a ride.
Of course, the money is one thing, but it's the damage to the reputation of the company that's really had us hauled over the coals. The last thing a client wants to hear about is funds going missing, especially when one of our own staff is involved. If I'm really honest, neither my team or myself have come out of this at all well. It's been a really difficult time.
Well, you know, it's an employment scheme, by the county union.
What, like beating up women and going through the young
Ray, have you got a sec?
Of course. What's up?
Not here.
Is this about the new work stream? I've got some really good ideas.
Another time about that, okay?
But I wanted to talk to you for ages about that. Remember what you said about showing initiative in my last review if I wanted that promotion?
Yes, but this is much more important, Ray, okay? I need to give you a heads up about something else. Press office are flapping. Apparently, the press have got hold of details about the ADG deal.
You're joking. How could...
It's only hearsay, but some journo's got hold of it and the whole thing's going to go public.
Well, how much they know? And how did they get it?
I don't know and don't know. Internal have started an investigation. They want me to try and dig something up in case it came from down here, but where do I start? I've been back through all the file logs and nothing appears out of the ordinary on first inspection. Have you got any ideas? Any of your lot been acting strangely of late? Anyone miffed about anything?
No, not to my knowledge, but I'll keep my eye out.
The only one I could think of is that Kirsten. She's a bit of a loner, isn't she? Doesn't really join in with us.
Oh, Steve, come on. You can't judge people by appearances. She's quiet, but she's efficient. Besides, she doesn't have rights to the tender files. None of my team do. We had our access removed last year. All we do now are the formalities. Wherever it came from, it's not from down here.
I know. I mean, I thought that. There's probably someone in sales. Someone's left something in a pub somewhere, I bet. Anyway, keep your ear to the ground, okay? Don't mention it to the others.
Sure.
Seriously. If it's as bad as they think, they're going to be over everyone until someone can be blamed.
Okay, Steve, where are we?
It's not great, I'm afraid. What the press have reported so far, I'd say the entire ADG file's out there. All of it. It's likely that what the Herald have printed today is just the first extracts, and press office suspect they've got the rest. Management, as you can imagine, are furious and are asking what's happened.
And it won't stop there. Waterwall Media. Literally overnight our name has been torn to shreds. So what do we know?
Well, Kirsten here admits that she sent out the ADG file on Monday.
Why? To who?
I don't know.
What the hell were you thinking?
Let us speak first, Gordon, okay?
Go on.
I remember being asked to get the document and posting it out. There was a request left on my desk when I came back from lunch with an address label already printed to the name of the journalist, Justin, but his home address, not a newspaper address, so I did it. I honestly had no idea that it would cause any problems.
But did you not think?
Well, I get them all the time. I never know where they come from.
So someone asked you to? Who? Who could this instruction have come from?
As I said, I have no idea. There's no log or issuing department data on those forms. I didn't know I was doing anything wrong. It's not unusual for people to just send the instructions. They hardly ever explain why or even leave their name. I'd never do anything like this on purpose.
Our requests tracked at all? Do we know when we're sending out documents like this?
If I ever ask, people just look at me as if I'm being nosy. I just do what I'm asked to. That's what I was told when I started.
Do you two know this goes on?
Ray?
We did circulate a memo with a few issues earlier this year, but
Oh, Christ.
I didn't expect this to get so out of hand. I hope Kirsten's going to be all right. It's gone too far now to step in. I got talking to Justin, a journalist from the Herald, at a conference in the spring. He was a nice guy and seemed genuinely interested in my work and my knowledge of the issues. We kept in touch. He respected my views and opinions. Not like this lot. They barely acknowledge my existence at times. It's as if I'd been put out to pasture down here. I try to put different points across, come up with ideas, or stop them making some obvious mistakes, and it's always, yes, fine, put it in writing for me to look at, now go back to your desk and do your job. Steve barely has time for me. or this team, and the management above him care even less. And this is the first time I've seen him down here all year. I was always a bit sceptical about ADG. It's not the sort of business we would have ever got involved with before. I'm not paid to have moral scruples, but that is not what we're about, or the type of company we should be considering working with. We certainly wouldn't have a few years ago. Justin agreed. He said he'd been doing some digging around them and was lining up a story that would show them for what they are. We'd spoken about this, strictly off the record, as they say. Probably shouldn't have in hindsight, but nobody here listens. He suggested shaking things up a bit. Make people sit up and take notice about ADG. Might give them a jolt here. That I could help. Just get him a bit of detail. We'd work together on it. I sent him the entire document as he needed to see things in context, but agreed that no details were to be published. We'd be kept out of it. I couldn't be seen to be sending it, certainly not from my desk, so I got Kirsten to do it. She wouldn't know the passwords, but they haven't been changed in ages. It's not really her fault. Staff these days aren't trained to ask questions. None of us are encouraged to think anymore. But I had no idea it'd get this out of hand. Justin has gone way over the line. It's a major scandal, and they're going to find a culprit. He's got her in serious trouble.
Okay. We draft a response saying it was a breach of confidence, the information was taken out of context, that we're investigating, blah, blah, blah. Let's also get a circular out to our stakeholders along the same lines, signed by the chief exec. And some sort of message out to the staff about confidentiality breaches and our disclosure of information policies. Yeah, you want me to do that?
Yes, do. But more importantly, we need to look at the bloody procedures. Let's meet in the boardroom at 12 with the full audit team. You too, Ray, seeing as it's your team that got us into this. Kirsten, I think it's best you stay here. I'll get HR to come down to talk to you. I'll see you two at 12.
Yeah, it was a horrendous time. The Herald ran stories for another 3 days about us and ADG. They're used to the occasional bit of bad publicity, but for us, we were made to look like complete fools for allowing that document to be leaked in the first place. We still don't really know how this is going to affect people's opinions of us going forward, and that's the real concern. And Ray Miller.
We were shocked, stunned to hear that Ray was the source of the leak. Even exploited the situation to leave someone else in the frame. There were no internal controls in place, and he used it to his advantage. It was only because the story became so big that we were under pressure to do a huge root and branch search, which led us back to Ray's team. But at huge cost and stress to staff. But not only that, we were shocked about how things were being run from the top down.
Ray, what can I say? I never thought. He'd been here so long, he was literally part of the furniture. Looking back, he had voiced concerns from time to time, even about ADG, but we've got to get the work done. He could be a bit of a moaner at times, but we trusted the guy. He's one of the longest-serving members of staff. Apparently, he's saying that nobody listened to him, that we didn't appreciate his skills or experience. Well, I put that down to the fact that I got the job over him, and, well, he's been passed over for promotion before. I expected a bit of resentment, but, well, I suppose the truth is I didn't really listen to him. But then my boss never listened to me or my problems.
The whole episode has led us to completely overhaul our internal procedures, which is the only positive. We've ramped up staff induction and training. Documents and systems are marked out as to what they are and how they're handled. We've reviewed who has access to what and changed it. Ray, for example, shouldn't have been able to use a password from 2 years ago. No one had changed it. We want staff to tell us when they have concerns about what they've been asked to do or things they've seen. Communication here was from the top down and had to stop, starting with the management teams.
Yeah, we're better at picking up problems now, people's grievances. Before, wasn't really our concern. I guess you went to HR if anyone. Now it's very much part of the job. We're responsible for our team's security habits. We're marked on it. We have regular open meetings between teams where people can raise concerns of any level. And we ask people to be more open to any signs of stress, anger or negativity and to let someone know. We're taught how to handle things more sensitively.
Yeah, we've set up a hotline where staff can report their concerns, and we've improved staff communication and information. All senior management are signed up to it. There is no doubt how seriously we take security now.
Yeah, things have changed. It's had a real impact here.
It's a more open organisation, and a better one too.
Ray? No idea. Haven't spoken to him. I think our legal team are working on it, but well, I can only assume he really wanted to hurt us.
Oh, Tom, could you pop in the office when you get a spare sec?
Yes, mate, be right with you.
Cheers.
All right.
That you done then?
Pretty much. Just handing over the last of the project files and I'm off down the feathers. What time are you coming?
Oh, I should be there by 6. Hope you're not expecting a decent present, by the way. The collection apparently amounted to coppers and paper clips.
Oh, I don't doubt.
Yeah, well, help yourself to some stationery, etc. Anyway, I've got your early parole form here. Just need to go through some boring admin stuff. You know, like getting your pass and laptop back. In fact, I think you've got a sign somewhere. Oh, and of course all your various access rights and stuff like that.
Yeah, look, actually I was wondering if we could leave that for a bit. It's a sequence project, you see. I've got to hand in some reports and I haven't had time to do it, what with everything else that's been going on around here. I need to hand it over to Chris's team, but I just need a couple more days on it. I'm happy to work on it over the weekend, just don't want to leave you in the lurch, that's all.
Oh, nice one, mate. If you don't mind, I'd appreciate that.
Oh, not at all. It really helped Chris and that lot too.
Just don't work on it first thing tomorrow, yeah? I don't want you turning in a load of rubbish with one of your Saturday hangovers. So when do you start your new job, mate? And where is it you're going again? I don't think you ever said.
A bit of freelancing, see how we get on. Anyway, you better get your skates on. I'll be putting my wallet away after the first round. Oh, and don't forget to leave my access open so I can hand in that project.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll see you down there, yeah?
Yeah, you will.
Oh, Tom, I'll still need you to go through this exit form with me at some stage. Tom?
Fair enough, in between sentences.
He'll never do that form. He's too worried about getting out. And once something goes into that pile, it's lost forever. In which case, I'm pretty sure they'll never close down my account now. I know for a fact there are dozens of staff whose accounts are still live, even though they left ages ago. By Monday morning, they'll have loads of other stuff preoccupying them, and I'll already be history. Or so they think. On your last day, everyone's your mate, including management. Not that I saw a great deal of them, though, over the last couple of years. Especially when it came to some proper recognition. Like finally realising who it is that actually does the work around here. It's been me that's been holding this place together, and there's plenty of other people who'll appreciate my talents. Oh, and the sequence project. Gonna make someone a lot of money, that one. Nobody here, though. Right then, my former comrades. Who fancies a pint? Thought as much.
The thing is, it was my fault. No getting away from it. Seems Tom had us all fooled. Turns out he was already working for our major competitor. Possibly had been for a while. And what was our sequence project? 18 months of work. Was out there before we knew a thing about it. Oh, he'd done his homework all right. And now we find ourselves second to market when we should have been first. Why wouldn't I trust him? I've known the bloke 6 years. Worked with him. Gone to events with him. Nights out with him even. And this is how he treats us. Treats me. You think you know him, don't you? After 6 years, like, you think you'd know him. It's a bloody mess. And it was me who carried the can. Didn't do the forms. Let him keep his access. And they won't let me forget about that either.